one this morning is Tommy Douglas. The vote that we had, the list of top 100 greatest of Canadians, Tommy Douglas, the father of health care. Number 35 is Laura Secord. There's the sign on the right that says Laura Secord's homestead. And at the end of the road to our right is a white picket fence, a pale yellow door. That's Laura Secord's house. There's actually talked about Laura Secord being the first person on a Canadian bill. Remember we talked about that this morning too? How the Queen's on the 20, but she's not really Canadian. Well, if they put the 35th greatest Canadian, Laura Secord, on the bill, that's going to be a little strange as well, because really, she's not really a Canadian. Her story has to do with the War of 1812, before we were Canada. And Laura Secord was originally from Boston, Massachusetts. During the American Revolutionary War, Laura Secord came here. That's where she lived after she fled, America. And she came here on the promise of free land and loyalty to Britain. Her family, they were United Empire loyalists. Laura Secord's husband fought for the British during the Battle of Queenston Heights. And although that was a British victory, after the long cold winter of 1812, the British soldiers, they retreated from this area because the Americans, they occupied. They were the occupiers here in Queenstown. American soldiers had taken over Laura's house. And if Laura Secord had these American soldiers in that house, they had sequestered her home. And they were talking about attacking Beaver Dams. Beaver Dams, 21 kilometers away from here, was where the British soldiers were, commanded by General Fitzgibbons. And Laura knew this. Laura knew that if she did not somehow, some way, warn Fitzgibbons and the British soldiers that the Americans were going to attack, that the British would be defeated. So, at great personal risk to herself and to her family that she left behind, at first light the next day, upon hearing about this attack, she ran through the forest as fast as she could. 21 kilometers she ran for. And she got ahead of the Americans and she warned General Fitzgibbons and the British soldiers that the Americans were attacking. Well, the warning got there in good time. And it's because of this warning that the British did not lose the war on this front. Now, there was many fronts during the War of 1812. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, many a naval battle along the Atlantic seaboard, even as far south as New Orleans. But the most strategic battle